Hello everyone, welcome to the fifth part of our Android File Explorer application tutorial. So in this part we are going to work on the home fragment. So let's get started. So at first I'll clear all the tabs here and I need to go to the home fragment. Alright, so our home fragment is inside the fragments. Here it is. And let's actually first design the layout of our home fragment. So I'll open the layout file. Here it is the fragment underscore home. So here we need to delete this text view first, and here for the linear layout I'll add some attributes to it. So at first I'll change the background color of this linear layout to color black. Alright, and then I'll set the orientation of the linear layout to vertical, and then I'll set a weight sum here of 3. Alright, so that will divide this whole linear layout into 3 weight parts. So here again I'll create another linear layout. This width will be match parent and the height will be 0 dp, and then I'll set a weight sum here, the layout weight here to 1. Alright, and the orientation of this linear layout will be vertical. Okay, so that is how our first linear layout, and similarly I'll create another one. So I'm just copying this under here, and this time it will be a weight of 2. Alright, so this is the first linear layout where I'll store the options to select specific file types like images, videos, APKs, or access the download folder. And here in this second linear layout I will add a recycler view where I'll show the recently modified files. Alright, so let's at first go with the first linear layout. I'll give this a padding of, let's say, 8 dp, and then inside here I'll create another linear layout, and here I'll set the width to match parent and the height I'll set to 0 dp, and here for the layout weight I'll pass 1. Alright, and then I'll set the orientation of this linear layout to horizontal. By default it's always horizontal, but I am just being more specific. Okay, and then inside this linear layout I need to add another linear layout, and because that one will be vertical, so I am setting the width of this linear layout to 0 dp, and I'll change the height of this to, let's say, match parent, and then I'll give this linear layout an ID. I'll call this linear, let's call this image, and I need to add the weight sum here also. So I'll set the layout weight to 1. Alright, and I'll define the orientation of this linear layout to vertical. That's it. And now inside this linear layout I'm going to add a image view to show the icon of that file, and I'll also set a text view here. So here at first I'm creating a image view, and for the width and height of that image view I'll set match parent for the width, and for the height I'll set, let's say, 60 dp. Alright, and here for the source image I'm going to use @drawable /ic underscore image. Alright, and let's give this a padding of, let's give 10 dp. Alright, and now under this image view I'll create a text view also. Okay, so let me just zoom in. Alright, so here I'll pass a text view, and For the width and height, I'll pass match parent and match parent, and then I'll give this text view a text to see how it looks. So I'll write image, let's say images, and then I'll change the text color to color white, @color/white. Alright, and I'll set the text alignment to center. I'll change the text style to bold. Okay, and I'll also change the text size to, let's say, 18 sp. So that is our first attribute on our this linear layout. So actually I'll copy this linear layout 3 more times. So I'll just minimize it and copy this 2 more times, and here is our 3 items in the linear layout. Okay, and now we need to add another row here. So let's quickly do that by just copying this linear layout again under this. So here we got our 6 items. So now let's change the name and icons of them. So here the first one was the linear image. I'll change the second one to linear video, and for the icon I'll change IC underscore it was play, IC underscore play. And once again I'm saying I am using all these icons or the drawable files that I created by myself, and I have already given the download link of these files in the description. You can download them from there, or you can also use your own icons. Alright, and for the text here I'll change this to videos. Now let's go to the third one. Here I'll change this ID to linear music, and I'll change the icon to IC underscore music. The text will be also musics. Alright, and now let's go to the second row. Here the first one I'll change this to docs, linear docs, and for the icon it will be docs. The text here will be docs. Now for the fifth one I'll change it to linear downloads, and I'll change the icon to IC underscore downloads, and I'll change the text to downloads. And lastly for the sixth one I'll change its ID to linear APKs, and I'll change the icon to IC underscore, maybe it was Android. Alright, and I'll change the text to APKs. Let's write this in capital form, APKs. Alright, so these are our 6 options, and now let's go to the linear layout below here where we need to add a recycler view. So here let's first add a divider. So to create a divider we can add a empty view here. So for the width of that view I'll pass match parent, and for the height I'll set it to 1 dp, and I'll also give a background color. So for the background I'll pass @color/green. Alright, so that will create a new divider here if you see. Alright, so now under this view I'm going to create a text view where I'll set the width of that text view to, let's say, match parent, and the height will be wrap content. For the text here I'll pass recents. Alright, and For the text color, I'll set to color green. Let's give this a padding to the left. I'll give this 8 dp. Not padding actually, let's set this to margin. I'll set this to 8 dp, and then for the text size I'll pass 18 sp again, and let's give a margin to the top also. So margin top will be again 8 dp. Okay, and that's it. We can close that. So now under this text view, I'm going to create a new recycler view where we'll show the recently opened or recently modified files. Okay, so I'm adding a recycler view here. I'll set the width and height to match parent. I'll give this recycler view also an ID. I'll call this recycler underscore recents, and I'll give this a margin of 10 dp. Alright, so that was all for our layout design. So now let's go to the home fragment.java class, and similarly for the home fragment I'll use the codes for the internal fragment or the cut fragment. So let's go to the internal fragment first, and here I'll copy all the codes from outside of the onCreate view. So I am starting copying from here, and I'll go all the way up. Okay, so I'll go all the way up just after our onCreate view here. So I'll copy this, and I'll go back to the home fragment.java, and here outside of the onCreate view I'll paste that. Alright, and we're getting some errors, don't worry about that, we'll just keep copying. So I'll just copy all the attributes from here, like all of this. I'm not copying this view because we already have it inside our home fragment. So I'm copying the other variables here, and we need to also copy some items from our onCreate view. Do we need them? We don't need the TV path holder, blah blah blah. We don't need this one also. We don't need the okay, we also don't need that. Alright, so now let's go back to the home fragment, and here let's try to solve the errors that we are getting. So here, as you can see, we are getting errors on the on file clicked because we need to add this on file selected listener implementation here. So I'll just simply write implements on file selected listener. Alright, and our errors will be gone for those. Okay, so here, as we have got errors for the internal fragment.custom adapter, I'll just change or remove this internal fragment here. Custom adapter equals new custom adapter. Okay, and what's next? Okay, so maybe we don't have any more errors. Okay, cool. So now we need to define our linear layout or these files or the views, and we'll also initialize our recycler view here. So let's quickly do them. Here, okay, so inside the home fragment I need to initialize some linear layouts because our holders of this image and the text is a linear layout, and we have also given an ID for that. So let's quickly do them. So I'll just remove this image view and text view because we don't need them. and we will create a linear layout object, and we need to create 6 objects. So the first one will be linear image, then linear video, linear music, linear docs, linear fifth one was downloads, right? Downloads. And the sixth one was maybe apks. Okay, and we already have a object for our recycler view, and we said we have the layout as fragment home. Alright, that's fine. And now let's change the recycler views ID here, because here we have copied this from the internal fragment, so we got the ID of the recycler internal. I'll change this to recycler recents. Alright, and find file storage. What is the storage variable here? Okay, we have not defined this. Maybe let's see. Okay, so now we won't pass the storage here directly, because we are going to show the files from the internal storage in a sorted order as with the last modified date. Okay, so here I'll just simply pass the external storage directory. So I'll write environment dot get external storage directory. Alright, and you can also use the directory we used for the internal fragment like this. You can create the storage from this, like the external storage, and you can also pass this storage for this parameter, but I am passing directly the environment.get external storage directory. You may get this as deprecated, so if you get that, you can use this method instead. Alright, so now I'll initialize our linear layouts. Alright, so inside the onCreate view, I'll write linear image. Let's start from the beginning, equals view dot find view by id, r dot id dot linear image. Alright, and for the linear video, we need to pass view dot find view by id, r dot id dot linear video. Okay, so here we have initialized all the linear layouts. Now we need to create on click listener for the linear layout. So at first I'll call the linear image dot set on click listener, new view dot on click listener, and here for the on click method I'm going to create a bundle. I'll call this args equal new bundle, and here I'll add some variables or some strings to the arguments. So I'll write args dot put string, and here for the key I'll pass file type, and then for the value I'll pass as a string I'll pass image. Alright, and now we need to call another fragment to show that particular file type files inside that. So for this I'll be just copying this internal fragment again, so I'll press Ctrl C and Ctrl V again, and I'll change its name to, let's say, categorized fragment. All right, I'll click on refactor. I'll be also using a custom layout for our categorized fragment. So for this I'll go here, I'll copy the fragment internal, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and I'll change its name to fragment categorized. I'll click on refactor. Now inside the fragment categorized, here as we are showing all the files from our storage here, so I'll just simply remove these values here. So I'll just delete this particular linear layout which are holding the image and the path text view, and we'll just keep a recycler view here. All right, and okay, let's keep this as recycler internal. Now go to the categories fragment here, and from here I'll change the layout to fragment categorized, and from there I'll again delete these image views. I'll delete them also. I'll delete this also, and the rest of the things will remain same. Okay, we'll come to this later. Let's go to the home fragment first. So here I'll call the categorized fragment, create an object, categorized fragment equals new categorized fragment, and here now I'll pass these arguments. So I'll call the categorized fragment object dot set arguments, and here I'll pass the object of the arguments that we created with the file type. Alright, and now finally we will call the categorized fragment. So let get fragment manager dot begin transaction dot add, and here I'll pass the container r dot id dot fragment container, and then we'll pass the categorized fragment here dot add to backstack. I'll pass null, and finally I'll write dot commit. All right, so that is the code for our on-click listener. Now we need to copy these for all of these linear layouts. So let's copy this 5 more times because we have 6 of them here. 1 2 3 4 5. All right, and okay, so this was for the linear image. I'll change this for linear video, and here for the file type I'll pass video, and now for the linear music I'll set the file type to music. For the linear docs I'll pass docs. For the linear downloads I'll pass here downloads. For the linear APKs I'll pass APK here. Alright, so now our linear layout listeners are done. Now okay, we also need to call this runtime permission here, otherwise it won't show any file. Okay, so I'm calling this runtime permission here. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change something inside this find files method. So here I'll change this if file, single file, files, single file is directory, and single file is not hidden, then I'll just call add all single file, add all. I'll pass find files, single file. So what that will do is, if it finds a folder, it will again search all the files inside that particular folder. Okay, and we don't need this for loop here. Rather than I'll write a else if condition here, and here in the if statement I'll pass this condition where what we passed inside this for loop. Okay, so I'll be copying all of this and I'll paste it here inside this if statement, and here inside the body of that else if statement I'll call the array list dot add, and here I'll pass the single file. Alright, and now we don't need this for loop anymore. We'll delete that. And before returning the array list, as we are getting all the files from the internal storage, so what I'm going to do is I'll sort this with the last modified date. Okay, so here I'll call the array list dot sort, and here I'll call the comparator dot comparing, and here I'll pass file okay, last modified we need, so last modified, and we'll sort this with a descending order, so I'll call dot reversed. Okay, and it's showing some error because okay, so it needs API n annotation. So as my project is based on Android version 6.0, so it's showing this error. We can add this annotation, like if we click here, this will add an annotation for this method here, but we can also change our minimum SDK version from the Gradle. I'll go to the okay, not the project level Gradle, we want to go to the app level Gradle file. From here, as you can see, there is the minimum SDK version is 23. I'll change it to 24 and click on sync now. So that will change the minimum SDK to Android version Nougat. So I'll say if you are focused that you want to make this app to support Android version Marshmallow, then you may not use this method for the sorting. Alright, so now as you can see, we have changed the version to 24. Our error is now gone. Alright, so our array list is now reversed and we are returning it back. Okay, so that was our home fragment. Now we can go to the categorized fragment.java. So inside the categorized fragment, I'll take a file, I'll call this path, I'll define it above here, and now we don't need this try catch block here, and we also don't need this storage type blah blah blah. Okay, so now what we need is we need to get the data as we passed from here. For the linear layouts, we passed the arguments with the categorized fragment, so I'll just try to fetch that. So here I'll call bundle equals this dot get arguments. Alright, and then I'll write a if checker that if the bundle dot get string dot equals, okay, so for the get string we need to pass the key value. So the key was, if we go back, it was file type, so I'll just copy this here. Okay, so if it equals downloads, as we pass downloads for our download linear layout. So I'll copy this here. So if it gets the download in the bundle, then we'll just set the path to the download directory. So we can get the download directory by writing environment dot get external, sorry, I wrote comma, dot get external storage public directory, and here I'll pass environment dot directory downloads, which is this one. All right, so if we click on the downloads, then it will launch this categories fragment with this particular directory. So we'll get only files from the downloads folder. All right, and now else, if it doesn't get the downloads like for the others, we'll set the path to the default internal storage, which is environment dot get external storage directory. All right, now we can go to the display files method, and here instead of the storage, I'll pass the path, and this is the path that we just created from here. All right, I'll keep this pan count as 2. Don't worry about that. The recycler's ID is same, as we have not changed that, so I'll keep it as it is. And now we need to change things inside our find files method. So here at first we are checking for all of the files. If single file is directory and not hidden, then we are adding arraylist.add single files. So here I'll again change this to add all, and I'll pass find files, and here I'll pass the single file so that we can check everywhere inside that. Okay, and after that we don't need this for loop here, rather we'll add a else block here where we'll search for all the particular file types. So I'm going to write switch, and here I'll pass get arguments dot get string, and here we need to pass the key, and as our key was file type, I'm copying this, and then we need to check all of the types. So for the first one I'll check for the images. So for the image I passed image. Okay, so I'll write image. So if it gets a image, then I'll again check for every other files that ends with jpg, jpeg, or etc. So I'm just going to copy it from here. So here, as you can see in the for loop, we already have that, so I'm going to copy till the png. So I'll just copy this, paste it here. So if it gets all the image files, then I'm going to add them to the array list. So array list dot add single file. All right, and similarly I'll do for the others, but before that I need to add a break here. Okay, and now let's copy this. We need to copy this 5 more times. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have now 6 types. So now for the video, I'll pass it here, and here we need to change the type. So for the video, we just took this mp4 type, so I'll just copy this. For the video, I'll remove others and paste only this mp4 checker. Now for the music, what we got the key as music, so I'll pass music here. And for the music, maybe we check 2 types of files. Okay, we checked for the wave and the mp3. So I'm going to copy this inside the music. I'll paste that, array list to add single file. Okay, after music we got the docs, so I'll paste docs here, and for the docs we checked both the .doc and .pdf. Again I'll copy this and paste it here, and after that we got downloads, but we'll do that next. So I'm going to copy this apk file. I'll paste it here, and for the apk we just need to check this apk. Okay, so I'll pass it here. Alright, now it's time for the downloads. So if we get the case downloads, then we need to show all type of files inside the download storage. Okay, so as we are setting the path from above, as you saw that from the bundle.getString, we decided the path for the downloads category, and now we'll just set the condition to choose the file types. So we will show every file types inside the downloads folder. So I'm going to copy all of them and I'll paste it here. Okay, from here to here I'll paste it, and I'll write array list dot add single file. And now we don't need this for loop here, so I'm going to delete that. Alright, I think we're done with everything. Okay, now let's go to the home fragment, and here I want to show the recently opened files with 3 items in a row. So I'm going to change the span count to 3 from 2. Okay, so I think our code is now done. We can now run this and see what happens. Alright, so our app is now installed and opened, and as you can see we have launched with the home fragment, and here we are seeing the categories for the image, videos, music, docs, downloads and apks, and we have also all the recently modified files in a descending order here. Alright, and now let's check the particular file type. So let's click on the images. So it is showing all the images in our phone storage. Let's go back, and then let's open the videos. So it's showing all the videos here, and for the docs it's showing the docs. Alright, so let's go to the downloads now, and as you can see here I have all the files that I have in my download folder. I downloaded the Opera Mini APK. Okay, so I'm getting that here with all the wallpapers that I have downloaded and some songs here. Okay, so that was our file explorer application tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Okay, so one thing I want to say, you can customize this about section, as I have added a toast message here. You can also add a custom, let's say, dialog box where you can write this app is made by your name, and you can also showcase it in your portfolio. Alright, so that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you enjoyed, then please consider subscribing, give a like and share with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want any other features or you have any confusions regarding this project, you can comment down below. Thank you so much.